Hey, lovies. Tonight we're coming with something a little different, a little out of the ordinary. Tonight, for this story time, we're going cool, calm, cozy, pillow talk, bedtime type vibe. So let me know how you like it at the end of this video. So, how have we been? What's been going on with us? What's new? What is new? How was your week? How was your day? Hi, guys. Hi. I have my head tie and my PJs, and I'm loving it. What's going on? What is going on? Talk to me. Come talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. I missed you guys. I missed you guys. So, let me get comfy. Hmm. Tonight's story time was the highly requested one. How did I get promotion? How did I get my promotion at the Rio Hotel? So without further ado, let me get comfy. hmm Now we're talking. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I think I stopped the previous video off at the last thing I said was when I was working in the dining room. So yes, I started a job in the dining room and they used to treat me like hell. HELLLL. That's how they treated me. They gave me so much trouble. They were always so bitter with me. There was probably only one brown girl. I don't remember her name. I don't remember anyone's name, by the way. But it's probably one brown girl that used to say, all right, come, I'll show you this. Come, you can work with me. Come, I'll show you that. Everyone else was a complete mess. They treated me so bad, to the point where I was ready to resign. So after like 2 months of being in the dining room, I think it was like 2 months. I don't think it got to like 3 months, but I think it was like around, I think I started May, June, and then I would start training in July for super, yeah. Okay, so I was there for like 2 months in the dining room. They used to tell so many lies on me. They used to take my name to the manager. They used to start rumors. They used to say to how bad it was. There was this time I remember they started a rumor that I was with this guy from the other dining room. It's like you have the main dining room and then you have, I think, I don't remember if it's Asian or Italian, some restaurant, some other um what do you call it? Some other restaurant that was on the other side. And they said I was dating that guy. That's what I heard the next day when I went to work. How did they come to that conclusion? I have only seen this guy probably twice. I've never exchanged words with this guy. But that specific night, I went to go take taxi after work. It was probably 11ish, 12, and I went to go take taxi. I walked to the taxi stand, and the guy walked to the taxi stand. I was on one side of the road, he was on the other side of the road. We ended up going in the same taxi cab. I don't know where this guy lives, and he does not know where I live because I don't know the person. But somebody must have seen us go in the same taxi. And the next day I went to work. It was the easiest thing for them to say she's with him because they found so many problems with me just to try to fight me out. Like they really, the thing about it, you see, anywhere, any organization you work in, and I face this a lot of times, when you go there and you work by the rules, you do the job to the T, you follow all directions, you do everything the way you're supposed to. You see, the people that have been there for like three, not three, like 10, 12 years, that are seasoned and not doing the job like they're supposed to, those people are going to try their hardest to fight you out. You know why? Because you're going to get highlighted for the job that you're doing, and they're going to get jealous for um the highlight that you're getting. So they automatically feel like you're coming to take over their job. So all of the bad things that they used to do, no, they can't really do it because you're now here um doing the right thing, which is showing up the bad thing that they're doing. So they used to find me out. They find me out bad. The manager list, she used to always like blow it off until it reached a point where she just started listening and she started giving me attitude. I was like, these people don't even know anything about me. I was just trying hard to just work to show you how bad it was. So this in the dining room um when you work under, so as a trainee you have to work under someone else's a waitress's table. So I would work under the waitress table, and at the end of the night, so whatever money is on that table, even if you are the one and you know you genuinely work for that money, that tip, and the waitress genuinely know that she didn't do anything and she left all the work for you to do, she has the right to take up that tip and not give you any if she don't feel like it. So there was this specific girl, I don't remember what she named, she's brown, she had I don't I don't. It's like I'm picturing her a little bit, but I don't remember her name. But she was light skinned. Every time I used to work, and she's slim. Every time I used to work with that girl, I don't get no money at all. At the end of the night, no tip. She would not even look at me and give me 5 cents, even when I worked for it. But at the end of the day, that's their station and they have the right to do that. So it's okay if they want to do that. If they don't want to give me any money, that's fine. Where the problem started was when the guests would see that she's the one that's taking up the money off the table. So sometimes they would say, this tip is for her. Sometimes they'll leave two tips on the table. Okay, one for you and one for her. She wouldn't give you, she would just take it up and go. You wouldn't even know sometimes if you're not there and see that the tip that the guest left the tip, and that the guest actually said, this one is for you. She not tell you. Mm-mm. She mm-mm. Hmm. So it got to a point where I had nothing to really do in the dining room because there were some nights when they want the guests to see that they are the ones doing the work. So I started greeting the guests. I'm not gonna just stand there and not do anything. So I would just randomly walk around the dining room and say, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And with doing this, I actually cheered up a lot of the guests. I fixed a lot of situations. I put a smile on a lot of the guests' faces because they would be like, you just made my day. Like I've had the worst day. My excursion got cancelled. It was raining, this and that, da da da. I can't find my luggage, but you just cheered me up. The only thing that I would really go to them and be like, "Oh, hi, how is your vacation? Did you try the jerk chicken yet? We have fresh jelly down by the beach." Just random things I would tell them, and they would absolutely love it. Like they would always tell me, "Oh, you have such a beautiful smile," and things like that. And listen, I start making my money. I started making my own tip. So I could care less what they wanted to do with the table now, because now the guests started to ask for me. Where's the short hair girl? The short hair girl with a pretty smile. They started asking for me. They would walk me down to tip me. Sometimes they even returning guests, like they would be there like a month ago or so, and they came back and they're making sure to see me. It got to that point. So if that start happening, it brings more jealousy, more hatred, more problem. So they tried their hardest to fight me out, but I just stood there with a balled up fist, and I just did what I needed to do. But I knew I wasn't gonna stay in that job. I knew it. Like at the end of the probation, I think the probation was like 3 months. At the end of that probation, I was leaving. I was through the door, no questions asked. I was going because I could have stayed home in the house, just watch TV all day, like my partner at the time wanted. But because I have ambition, I said, let I go outside and let me just go get a job. And I go behind the man back and I go look job. I know I'm at the job, and then give me a beer problem. Bear problem. So I was ready to leave that job. I was absolutely ready to leave the job. Um, but then one day I was there, and the manager came to me and she was like, "There is a position up up by the front desk that you know." It's like she basically said, the incident controller. At the time, I wouldn't know what who the person is, what the job title is. I wouldn't know anything of that sort. She just said, there's a position up by the front desk, and they need someone to substitute for, I think, a month. Yeah, I think it was a month or a month and a half. I think it was a month. And she was basically saying usually they get someone from the bar, or they would get somebody from um the dining room to do it. But this year the bar had no one. And then she said she doesn't see anyone else in the dining room that would fit the position well. So she asked me about it, if I would do it. I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Um, it took a little time, but then I got introduced to the general manager, and I was terrified of this man. In any organization, you go in there and you hear the big boss name, you hear the general manager, you hear corporate, you hear director. You're like, huh? Umi? Little me? And that was probably my reaction. And I met with him. I don't remember verbatim the conversation, but I know we spoke about what I would be doing, and what is expected of me, the position and things of that sort. And they said I was gonna train with the incident controller um, for, I think, a month or a month and a half. I don't remember, but I think it was like a month, and then I would be left by myself for the other month. So I would train the entire July. I think I started the end of June, and then I would train the entire July with her, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And then August I would be there by myself. Something like that. It was something around that. So um I got introduced to the incident controller at the time, and many kisses to her. If she ever comes across this video, many kisses to her. Girl, I love you. You're absolutely amazing. And one thing I can say, everything you told me actually came to pass. I don't need to say anything else, but everything you told me came to pass. Every warning that you gave me, I saw it for myself. I I saw it for myself. So I met with her, she introduced herself, she trained me to the best of her ability. She taught me things that I didn't even need to know for that month. She trained me for things up until even the next 6 months, probably the next year. This was the summertime, and I knew what I was supposed to be doing by January. That's how much of a good job she did. Like she was amazing. Probably one of the best trainers I've ever come in contact with. She was good, very good to the T. And at the time, I wouldn't know this, that she's actually giving me all the necessary information. But when I was left in the position, I was like, okay, I remember she told me this. I remember she did that. I grabbed my notebook. I had to be writing down everything, and I could actually go back to what I wrote um to you know fix certain things, or go or understand certain things, certain logins. She did a good job. Long and short, she did a good job training me. And then I wrote she went off to her vacation, and I was there handling business by myself. I was doing it. I was just doing it. Mind you, I'm just like 19. I'm literally 19, but I was doing it. A girl was getting it done. And then and then I the time was crunching, and I was like, I'm definitely not going to go back to the dining room. I'm absolutely not going back to the dining room. There's no way, absolutely no way I'm going back to the dining room because of the treatment that I got. It was probably one of the worst experiences ever. And I've worked at many places. And this was one of my first jobs. This was like my first, no, not my first real job, but it was one of my first jobs. And it was so, what's the word? It was a bad first job. Put it to that. So I I got so, for that month, I felt so much peace, not being in the dining room, not being among those vipers, those monsters. And when I got up to the front for, substitution, they used to say things, they used to talk things, but I would never really take heed to it because, I'm, yeah, I wouldn't really take heed to it because I knew the plan that I had in my head. I knew that after this month of substitution, I was leaving. So no matter what they said, it wouldn't really do anything for me. It wouldn't really affect me. That's the point. That it got to that point. Um, she went away for the month, and then I wrote my resignation letter when I knew she was gonna come back. I think she was gonna come back around probably August 14th, probably the 14th or the 15th, but I think it's the 14th or so. She was supposed to come back, and I had my resignation letter in my hand on the 13th, to on the the day before she's expected to be back, and I brought it to the office and I put it on in the drawer because I was gonna give that in that same day, you know because I'm like, I'm not staying here. So it would come in effect by the time she would have been back, whether she would be back, and then I would have to, probably show her one and two things that I did, explain why I did this, how I did this, because you're coming back. You're going to need to fix things that I probably didn't do properly, because at the end of the day, remember, I'm still just substituting. So I will make mistakes. So in those days that I would have to be there trying to show her, all the things that I did or did not do so that she could get back in the groove, I figured that by that time, the what you call it would have been back. By that time, the resignation letter would have come in effect. So I was gonna hand it in that day, and I got a message on my phone, and the message, I don't remember verbatim, I don't remember word for word, but it was somewhere along the line of what I'm about to say. The message was like, congratulations, you're gonna do so good, you deserve it. And I think I was like, what? Like, huh? What are you talking about? It was something about something of that sort. I was like, what are you talking about, girl? What are you talking about? And she was like, I resigned today. The job is yours. I was I was like, what? Huh? Huh? Impossible. Impo- the watch is mine. The job is mine. I was excited. It's like in the moment I didn't know how to react because remember I'm just still a young girl. I'm still new to the company. Um I'm still getting in the ropes and things like that. So I really didn't know how to react, but I was excited. I was happy because this was now my opportunity to not go back to the dining room. Because so, um, yes, I was told that, but for the next few days, they just say, you're gonna be here for an extra few days because she's not back yet. They didn't tell me off the top that, she resigned. They were just like, you gotta stay a few more days because she's not back yet. She had to take a few more days or something like that. But in that time, I didn't know. I think someone told me after, but I didn't know in that time that they were actually searching for someone else for the job. Probably someone that has probably another property, somebody that knows the ropes, that somebody that is seasoned in the company. So, and that is completely fine because that would probably be their protocol before just randomly taking a stranger, because that I'm still a stranger, I'm still new here. Randomly taking a stranger and put in this position. Because now I'm working with the managers, I'm working with the general manager, I'm working with a few of the general managers' bosses, like a few of those people. Not on a day-to-day basis, but I deal with everything that anybody don't want to do, cannot do, didn't remember to do, can't be bothered to do, forgot to do, I had to do. So I was working with everybody. That position is literally like the hotel. It's like the hotel dumpster. It's not in a bad way, not in a bad way, but it's literally like the hotel dumpster. Like, you order things, you receive goods, like you do everything. You do the hotel count, you do everything. The job is never ending. It's like you don't even have a job description. You do, but it's like you don't even have a job description. You monitor the system. You're doing the, what do you call the payroll sheet? The register. You're doing that, making sure people are at work. Everything. Especially that I had a soccer for a manager. I had to do everything. But I'll get to him another time. I probably have to do another story time for that monster. But you get the gist. So um hmm, uh oh, that was an experience. But yeah, I started the job. They ended up calling me in the office one day. The GM called me in the office one day, and then he started telling me about, the expectations of the job, obligations. Um, he was asking me if I can manage, things of that sort. He was trying to understand, you know, the level of knowledge that I had as it relates to the system, um, how the hotel operates, things like that, how to order things, how to things like that. He was just trying to like see if I can manage or see if I'm capable enough to remain in the position. So at the end of it, he ended up saying, I don't remember the exact conversation, but it was something along this line. And he was like, okay, so the job is yours. He told me the job description. I got the new contract to sign. I don't remember if I signed it with him or I had to go down to HR to sign it. Oh, I love HR. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love, absolutely love HR. They're amazing women, just woman. I'll talk about HR another time, but I love them. Um, but yeah, I signed a new contract and the job was mine. That's not the end of it. That's just the beginning of disaster. Oh Jesus, girl, mm, that was just the beginning of disaster. Now the hate started to flow. Now the hate is visible. Mm? The said dining room. Remember, you're moving from a point where you could have me as your doormat. You could walk over me like a carpet. And it got to a point where you're now calling me miss. You see the difference? So I started to hear, you're sleeping with the manager. No, you're sleeping with the general manager. I'm still terrified of this man, Remember, I am super terrified of this man because he is the boss. I'm still new to the company. He is the boss. So of course I'm gonna be terrified of my boss because of the stigma, how they made the man sound. I mean, after a while I got used to him and I got to understand how he is. But when you hear people telling you different things like, okay, he's this or he's that or he's walking down the stretch, the man would walk down the stretch and the people in the dining room just shut the door fast and run. So of course I'm gonna be terrified of him. So how now when I got the position up top? Because whatever is for you in life will always be for you. It cannot be for anybody else. So when I got the position up top, how come? How come I start sleeping with the general manager? Who thought of that? Who would even say something like that? And I'm here terrified of this man. Anyways, I got the job and they started telling me that I slept with him. And then probably as time went by, I was there for like probably 2.5 years, I don't remember. And as time went by, I heard that I slept with probably 7 other people. And then the thing about the hotel, everybody's friend and family. If you're not a cousin with this person or a friend with that person, you're related to them somewhere, somehow. Your baby mother is your cousin, sister, brother, uncle, auntie, and your grandmother supposed to call me cousin. Everybody in a real related. Everybody over there related. Everybody. So rumor spread fast. And then build up the rumor them. Then build the rumor them you fought. Huh? I heard some things, man. I heard some things about myself, about people that I've never even met. I have never exchanged words with these people. But I I think my next video, because the real series, I think I'm gonna just put it in a playlist. The real series, I'm gonna put it in a playlist because I want to talk about the managers that I dealt with, who was amazing, who was terrible. I'm not calling anybody's name, but this is my experience. And um I just, to end this video, I can just say my manager was a pervert, and the front desk manager hated me, and she, she gossips like there's no tomorrow. She just and she acts like this goody two shoes, and that used to just piss me off. The woman do as much as look at my underwear. Like, why you watching my bottom? You find everything to talk about, like everything to gossip about. Oh, your eye reach on my bottom. Gonna tell me one day I can always know what kind of underwear you're wearing. How did your eye get there? Huh? I was never. I'll leave it for the other video because I have a few breakdown videos to make. Just request them down in the comments and I'll do it in that order. But I gotta make one about my experience working alongside, different managers, different people, and my experience specifically with the Monster ASS maintenance manager, that pervert. I don't think y'all ready for this, but yeah, it's coming. But anyways, good life, good vibes, good smile. I'm out. Until next time, have a wonderful week. It is July. Let July be your month. Let July be a prosperous month for you. And just live life, happy life, smile, and live. Yeah, just live. Just do what works for you and what's best for you. And I think I'm gonna cut this video right here. Yeah, cut. I'm just kidding. I think that's it for tonight. I'll leave the rest for another video. So, good night, happy happy life. Mwah. Later.